there was a game last night, and
Awful.
as we predicted, it was going to be awful because last year, Thursday night, almost all of the games were awful, and you knew it was going to be Deshaun Watson against a team that was shut out in the opener. The Bengals still don't have a touchdown this year, and Deshaun Watson won. Didn't make any mistakes, but he only had 125 yards passing. That was a dreadful game.
The total on the game last night was 37 or 37.5, and it never even threatened the total. Didn't even come close.
Well, 13-9.
And you get a total in the 30s. I mean, that's almost unheard of for an NFL game.
From what I watched, it was just a terrible game.
It was an abomination.
Well, they're setting themselves up when they're putting Houston. I guess they have some expectations for Houston, but Houston in Cincinnati on prime time. Why are they setting themselves up like that?
Cincinnati has been decent the last couple of years, but it's
coming off a bad year.
What? It's done for
Bye-bye, Marvin.
Done for Cincinnati.
Bye-bye, Marvin. You know what? If you want to get rid of it, you want to throw Andy Dalton overboard too, that's fine.
I mean, he's so bad. They can't get the ball to A.J. Green. They draft Mixon and Ross. They do nothing.
Right.
Ross fumbles yesterday.
Ross fumbles, and then they don't put him back in the game.
Good.
Well, I mean,
they don't run the football.
So now you're going to bench him the whole year?
Well, who knows what they're doing there.
Every play I saw.
They were combined 8 for 30 on third down.
Yeah.
Neither team got to 300 yards. It was just a bad game.
Every play I saw where he looked towards A.J. Green was doubled. So they've lost their other threats. They used to have, Marvin Jones there, who's now in Detroit.
Yeah.
They used to have good number twos to A.J. Green.
Well, that's why they drafted John Ross so high. Was he the number 9 pick in this most recent draft? They picked up Joe Mixon
demon
to help add to the offense. They've got a bad offensive line. Andy Dalton has done nothing in the first 2 weeks.
They've got 9 points in 2 weeks.
And that was one of my wild card picks for our playoff predictions.
Drab has them going to the Super Bowl.
Ooh, well, you can tear your picks up right now, Drab.
Yeah, he's done.
At this point.
They're not going to the playoffs.
Your picks are donezo.
Yeah,
it's only 2 weeks.
But Thursday Night Football, the last couple of years has just been bad.
Yeah.
And Jason was talking about it. They don't have time to prepare. They play on Sunday.
These players hate
like a
playing
day
Thursdays.
off.
They hate it.
Well, put in a game plan.
I still
They
maintain
barely
that's a bad
practice.
matchup, though.
It is a bad matchup.
That's
this
not a
year.
prime time caliber matchup.
It's not a premier matchup, but the NFL is forced to put these in prime time because they have so many prime time games now. They have to fill a Thursday night game. They have to fill a Sunday night game and a Monday night game. You're not going to have Packers Falcons
and 4 o'clock.
You're not going to have Packers Falcons and Pats Steelers for all those matchups. You just can't.
Right, and your 1 o'clock and 4 o'clocks. Those are also their prime time games too. If you think about it, I know it's Sunday, technically not prime time, but they usually have one of the best matchups at 1 and one of the best matchups at 4 or 4:25 now.
Yeah, it was ugly.
So Thursday night usually are the garbage games, EB.
Right. Well, why are they doing that?
It's on the NFL Network, so it's not on one of the big sillies like Fox or CBS.
Yeah, and do they get like sort of the leftover choices? Like, is that what it is?
My perception as a fan is the Thursday night games are generally garbage. We could go through the lineup this year. I bet they're not that many great
that's
games.
why they're bad. They're not getting the premier matchups. Are they getting last choice?
Let's see, Thursday next week, Rams Niners.
Poop.
Week after that, week 4. Looks like it's Green Bay hosting Chicago. All right,
Yeah,
not
that's
great
a
matchup.
rivalry.
Division game. Now, the truth is, I think every team has to play at least one game on Thursday night, right?
Yeah.
Oh, is that true?
Yes.
Patriots Bucks in week 5.
So you might get some.
You'll probably get half of those matchups that are decent, but most are going to be.
They just sound mediocre though.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Like, what's the Skins Thursday night game? Some NFC East game?
What do they play on
Let me see.
Thanksgiving?
They do play
They play
Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving.
night.
Who do they play on
I think
Thanksgiving?
it's the Giants.
Yeah.
Eagles Panthers in week 6. So I mean,
Although I want to see McCaffrey. By the way, what did McCaffrey do in the first game?
Not much.
nothing.
What-
He fumbled
How many
He
times did they
averaged
give it to him?
3.6 yards
Maybe-
per carry.
maybe
8 to 10.
10 times maybe. He had 3 or
8
4.
total touches, 8 to 10
No,
total.
No, he had about 5 catches.
That's what I thought he would
He
do.
had probably 12 touches, but
Uh-huh. Well, that's all right. He'll figure it out.
But you're
I think
right.
he had about
Thursday
5 catches
matchups
for
suck.
35 yards.
The Thursday matchups suck. Case in point, last night.
But I was also just seeing a general comment. I believe it was from Trent Dilfer this morning when I was looking at social media. And Hasselbeck, actually, Matt Hasselbeck, who is now on ESPN, was lamenting the quality of games, that offenses just don't look very good anymore. Number one, college football doesn't equate to professional football. So quarterbacks that are coming up, they're playing a totally different game. He said the same thing for the offensive line. He said college football is not a good farm system now for the NFL. And then once they get to the NFL, they don't practice like Trent Dilfer and Hasselbeck did back in the day. They barely practice, so it's going to look rough.
Especially
and
early
I think
in the year.
in week one, we saw that. There were very few teams that looked sharp.
And then in the preseason, obviously we've been talking about it for a month. These guys aren't playing. They're not playing in the preseason games. They play a few series over 4 weeks, and it stretches into the first couple weeks of the regular season. You can tell.
I watched a little of the game last night, and it was garbage, and I felt no need to stay up. I did see Deshaun Watson, 49-yard touchdown. I mean, that's what he's going to do. I think that's why they went to him instead of Savage.